Take a standard 25-year home loan. By the time you make your final payment, the interest paid often outweighs the cost of the house itself. This calculator shows a very common scenario. You take a loan of 40 lakh rupees at an 8% interest rate for a 25-year term. Look closely at the total interest output, a staggering 52 lakh rupees. But that 25-year timeline is completely optional. You can wipe out this exact financial burden in just 10 to 12 and a half years without taking on extreme financial risks. To execute this plan, you need three things: your current loan details, a rough estimate of salary increments, and the custom calculator we've provided to break down the math. Escaping this debt doesn't require a sudden lottery win or a massive inheritance. It is a strict mathematical process built on planned discipline. Step 1 is understanding exactly how your monthly payment is structured. Look directly at the very first month of your repayment schedule. On that 40 lakh loan, your EMI is roughly 31,000 rupees. But when that first payment is divided, an overwhelming 27,000 rupees goes directly to interest. Barely 4,000 rupees actually touches your principal balance. This severe imbalance persists. Month after month, year after year, your early payments are almost entirely feeding the interest, barely putting a dent in the actual amount you borrowed. This line graph plots your interest curve dropping, while your principal curve rises. Notice the crossover point here at month 200. That is the first time your principal payment finally exceeds your interest payment. That is over 16 years into a 25-year loan. Banks front-load the interest. Therefore, attacking the principal directly and aggressively in the first few years is the only mathematical way to destroy the lifespan of the loan. Our first strategy is making exactly one extra EMI payment every 12 months. You can fund this using predictable annual windfalls like a Diwali bonus, a tax return, or a maturing fixed deposit. Watch the calculator when we change the extra EMI cell from 0 to 1. The total loan tenure instantly drops from 25 years down to 20. One extra payment a year shaves 5 entire years off your loan. But there is a crucial catch in how banks process these extra funds by default. If you simply deposit the money, they might treat it as an advance payment for future EMIs, which does nothing to reduce your total interest. You must explicitly instruct your bank to apply this extra payment specifically toward your principal amount. This is what forces the overall tenure to shrink. Redirecting just one predictable annual bonus turns you from a passive payer into an active tenure reducer. The second core strategy is the annual step-up. This involves increasing your base EMI by a small percentage, like 5%, every single year. The immediate psychological reaction is that compounding increases will quickly stretch your budget to the breaking point. The reality is much more manageable. This chart compares a year 1 EMI to a year 2 EMI. A 5% increase on a 31,000 rupee payment is an extra 1,500 rupees a month in the second year. It's a tiny sliver on top of your existing commitment. This slight increase aligns precisely with standard annual corporate salary increments. If your income goes up every year, absorbing a 1,500 rupee increase is virtually invisible to your daily living expenses. When you apply this 5% step-up strategy on its own, your total loan duration plummets to roughly 13 years. Tying your debt repayment to your annual salary growth is the ultimate defense against lifestyle inflation. For the ultimate aggressive approach, we combine both variables into a single roadmap: the annual bonus paired with a slightly higher 10% annual step-up. Looking back at the calculator, we activate both fields. With one extra EMI and a 10% step-up, the final payoff row now highlights exactly 125 months. That daunting 25-year, 40 lakh loan is completely eradicated in just 10 and a half years. And there is a massive secondary benefit. By accelerating the principal payments so aggressively, you save roughly 30 lakh rupees in pure interest that would have otherwise gone to the bank. Stacking small, incremental systemic changes yields exponential savings in both your capital and your time. Remaining trapped in long-term debt is a choice of passivity. It is not a mandatory life sentence. This split-screen chart illustrates the difference. On the left is the default path: 25 years of payments and 52 lakh rupees lost to interest. On the right is the active path: debt-free in 10 and a half years with massive capital savings. Download the calculator sheet provided below and input the exact metrics of your current loan. Experiment with the step-up percentage. Adjust the numbers until you find the exact threshold that fits your personal budget comfort zone. Once you have your number, contact your bank tomorrow. Formalize an auto-increment mandate on your current EMI so the process runs mechanically without you having to think about it. Taking these 2 administrative actions today will literally buy back 15 years of future financial freedom.